Here at Dateline, we're used to spending months or even years pursuing a story. We've learned a lot along the way. So we thought we'd share and let you in on a few things. A friend of mine who's a homicide detective says all murders can be chalked up to either love, money, or pride. And this mystery would be no exception. Was it love?
I think we were head over heels for one another.
Money?
Over the years, he had accumulated hundreds of thousands of dollars in his account.
He didn't miss an angle, did he?
No, sir. There was a pattern.
Or pride?
It's just a man's pride being walked all over by a tiny woman. That was his ego that she stepped all over.
This is a tale so twisted, it would take not just one murder, but two for the killer's motive to come to light.
Most people never know anybody that's been murdered.
It's one thing if two people are murdered at one point, and then it's another that like one person is murdered and then 10 months later somebody else is murdered. And to be like stuck right in the middle of that.
I'm Josh Mankiewicz. I've been reporting here on Dateline for more than 25 years. And this is Motive for Murder, a new podcast from Dateline. Gelare Bagherzadeh was a radiant woman. She had countless friends.
She was funny, crazy, full of energy, everything packaged in a tiny body.
Gelare was studying molecular genetics at MD Anderson in Houston. She dreamt of one day becoming a CSI expert and helping police solve violent crimes. Instead, she became the center of one. Shot 2 times at close range.
She didn't deserve to die. That's all I know.
I heard shots, and I've just now had the courage to go out there. My neighbor's been shot. I think she's in the car.
Okay.
God, I wish I'd come out earlier. I was so scared.
Houston 911, do you need police, fire, ambulance?
Ambulance.
Okay,
police.
for what city?
She got in a car accident. There was just a murder 100 yards from our home.
Who in the world would want Gelare dead? Before police would find out, another brutal crime would come to light.
Stop screaming. I can't understand you. Oh, ma'am, my husband's been shot.
This was an investigation that would leave the city of Houston on edge as police looked for a killer who was lurking in the shadows.
They accounted for 7 strikes on his body.
It would leave everyone wondering, how do you catch a killer whose motive is unimaginable? The first step to finding out who did it would be figuring out the why. And that would take investigators down a path full of twists and turns. I'm Josh Mankiewicz. Join me for Motive for Murder, an all-new podcast from Dateline and from the creators of The Thing About Pam. Subscribe now and get the first 2 episodes on May 7th.
Hey, it's Seth Meyers from Late Night with Seth Meyers, and yes, I'm interrupting your podcast to talk about my podcast, which may sound rude, but you have to understand, I've been shooting my show alone in an attic filled with wasps since this all began, and I've lost track of social norms. Our podcast is the best parts of our show, like our Closer Looks, which are deep dives into politics and the news of the day, interviews with guests that range from movie stars to politicians to authors to some of the funniest people ever, plus bonus material. Go to latenightsethpodcast.com and subscribe now.